a lie that covers even the food they want you to eat. Will you continue to be their profit center, buying their processed food that makes you sick? Go to the doctor and buy their drugs? You don't have to cooperate. There is a solution. Inner Health Botanicals, a company that my wife and I just love, have been providing products for the last 5 years that give you the perfect solution to this madness. Try their Inner Food with 20 organic ingredients full of dense nutrition that gives you the energy you need and will keep you well. It even won the award for Best Superfood of 2009 from our friend Mike Adams, the Health Ranger. I love their NutriCafe, great organic coffee infused with herbal extracts to boost your immune system. Try all of their truly honest products that will keep you alive and healthy. Go to ENERFOOD.com or give them a call right now, 866-762-9238. Click on their banner at Infowars.com to see all the available discounts. Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones, and I want each of you to ask yourself this question. Do you really know what's in your tap water? In a recent study conducted by a major environmental auditor, they found that over 260 chemicals and pollutants are present in municipal drinking water. Many of these chemicals are directly linked to cancer, reproductive, immune, and developmental system diseases. Now, what are you going to do about it? The Ecola Blue atmospheric water generator is a low-cost way to take back control of you and your family's drinking water. The Ecola Blue 28 produces up to 7 gallons of water from the humidity in the atmosphere and uses state-of-the-art carbon filtration, reverse osmosis, and ultraviolet light sterilization techniques. That's right, clean water right from the air you breathe. Order today by calling 1-800-691-6043. That's 1-800-691-6043. Or visit Ecola Blue on the web at www.ecoloblu.com today. That's EcolaBlue.com.
Being a part of Life Change Tea has been an exhilarating experience. I love the testimonies. Julie in New York writes, I love this product. I feel great. It worked immediately. You can feel the cleansing right away. Other products don't work right away like this one does. Mrs. Luella from Missouri writes, my daughter has lost 27 pounds. She loves the tea. And David from Tennessee writes, my wife has a lot of digestive problems and the tea really helps her a lot. I like it too. And here's my favorite from CJ in Minnesota. He writes, this stuff really works. No, I mean it really works. No, I mean it really works. Be one of the many testimonies that we receive every month. Order today online at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Or you can call us at 928-308-0408. You know the number, 928-308-0408. Be our next testimony. You love us, and we love you.
All right, Webster, I was interrupting there with the break, but I want to go over this because we already saw the Bush people, and you were saying that was being manipulated already by the Rockefeller arm that was back in full control even before Bush left office with the 888 insanity, sneak attacking a Russian-controlled area on record and then hoaxing it and saying the Russians had attacked. I mean, just insanity. I'm a political atheist, folks. We're just reporting the facts here. And, of course, that later came out. But the hoax worked for a week. Some of the listeners thought that I was lying and that Russia had snuck attack. I mean, this is getting insane. So what else do you see Obama doing? I don't just see wars. I mean, could they I see them, Tarpley, scripting for right-wing militias, gun owners, anti-Obamas. I see the programming by the ADL, Southern Poverty Law Center, to stage something, that the government's going to stage something. I see the pre-scripting. Before it was bin Laden pre-scripting before 9/11, and I saw that. I see pre-scripting for them to go the domestic terror route with white al-Qaeda. Do you see that in the cards?
That helps the dictatorial agenda domestically, and it gets you back to McVeigh and the whole universe of the 1990s. That indeed, in the 1990s under Clinton, that was the main form, for example, of British intelligence in the United States. Were up to their necks in white supremacists and all kinds of militias.
So was German intel. Like it came out German intelligence on loan to the ADL and Southern Poverty Law Center was running the groups.
The BND, yes, right. But here's the problem with that, is that doesn't advance your international agenda as much as you want. As a matter of fact, it hurts it, because if Obama is no longer the smiling peace angel bringing singing tomorrows to the United States, but rather some kind of a stern dictator who's shooting at crowds or something, then you get into diminishing returns. And remember, the main thrust of this has got to be, when it comes to false flag, is that you want to be able to blame it on somebody. You want to somehow create, for example, a conflict among other nations. In other words, it's not necessarily the U.S. that goes on the attack. The neocon response to every crisis is bomb them. With Obama and Brzezinski, the idea is you're too weak. You're too weak to do that. You're too isolated. You're too hated. You're too bankrupt. Your military is overstretched at the breaking point. Therefore, what you're looking at is questions like, the playing of Ethiopia against Somalia was a small example. The playing of enemy states one against the other. Just in another recent case, in Urumqi, right, in northwest China, we had this murder spree by the inhabitants of Chinese Turkestan, who are basically Turks. This led then to the killing of a whole bunch of Chinese. This was run here by, according to the Chinese government, and I think they're right, Rabia Kadir, Kadeer, coming out of Fairfax, Virginia, working with money from various U.S. government agencies, had been fomenting this stuff, according to the Chinese government. Now, the fact that the Chinese have cracked down in northwest China has led to a crisis in diplomatic relations between China on the one hand and Turkey, Pakistan, and Iran on the other. It's causing trouble for the Chinese, not only domestically, but also in their international
And that's
affairs.
exactly what Brzezinski says in the Grand Chessboard in his last book. But expanding on that, every time they use the Muslim extremist against the Serbs, they use the Muslim extremist against Mohammad Mossadegh in Iran. They're using the Muslim extremists in Iran, the Shiites against the Sunni against the Shiites. They're using the Muslim extremist in the United States as the pretext to take our liberties. They're using the Muslim extremist with the president of Pakistan saying, what do you mean I'm behind the Taliban? They work for you, menacing us. I mean, when is the public going to figure out that it's like those TV infomercials for the magic tool that does 100 things? Is Wahhabist, especially Wahhabist Muslim variant, are they not the Swiss Army knife Leatherman tool of the New World Order? Because in every case, they are the ones. And is that because they're so cultic that the low-level people don't even know they're being handled by higher-level Muslims that are just Western intelligence operatives being highly paid? I mean, is this the organic, cultural, perfect Manchurian candidate? Is the Muslim extremist? Because they're always the people, wherever the New World Order is, their vanguard is screaming turban heads.
Well, I think that is not able to capture what actually goes on. Remember, you can do this anywhere. In other words, you can generate patsies out of any culture under the right circumstances.
No, I agree, but I'm saying over and over again they keep using Muslims.
Yeah, but this involves the targeting, and the targeting is for many reasons. It's because the Arab and Islamic countries tend to occupy so much of the world's oil. The Middle East is this area of conflict among any number of major powers. There's also the fact that the British have been in command of India with a very large Muslim population for all of those centuries. They have refined their techniques of brainwashing and manipulation. In other words, Wahhabism, what is today called Wahhabism, is something that comes out of British India in the 1700s.
Yeah, it's a British intel development. Tell folks about that.
Well, what the British, of course, do is when they take over a country, they look inside the indigenous culture and they try to pick out the most backward elements, and that goes for the religion or any other form of culture. So what they will do is they'll take the most self-destructive, the most self-isolating, the most insane, the most fundamentalist, and they'll then tell that population, this is the real you. This is your real cultural identity. This is who you really are. So they'll say to the Muslims, your identity is not this great Baghdad renaissance of Harun al-Rashid with some of the greatest scientific advances in Ibn Sina and al-Farabi and so forth. They'll say, that's not you. You are rather al-Ghazali and his destruction of the destruction. In other words, you're going to be a Sufi mystic, not a Baghdad science scholar of 800 or 900 AD. So they then build on that. It's also the fact that these areas right now are very